The Galactic Empire's ruthless expansion the year is 2295. The Galactic Empire, a vast and merciless regime, has grown beyond the stars, expanding its influence over countless planets. No one is safe from its iron grip. Civilizations once proud now kneel before the Empire's unyielding will. Empires rise and fall, but the Empire has endured, not through mercy, but through fear, terror, and absolute control. Its war machines are unmatched, its technology far beyond anything any species has seen. For centuries, humanity was left alone in the fringes of space, seen as insignificant and primitive. The humans, though resourceful, were spread thin across distant colonies. Their strength was raw, untapped, and unseen, until the day the Empire took notice. What was once a hopeful era for humanity now stands in the shadow of the Empire's conquest. Humanity has fought tooth and nail to preserve its right to exist in the universe. But the Empire's methods are brutal. Entire populations are wiped out without hesitation. Planets burn, cities are reduced to rubble, and the survivors are left to live in fear, their homes in ruins to humanity's last refuge. Earth has become a final battleground. Resistance groups are scattered, their communication limited, their numbers dwindling. The Empire has already begun to tighten its grip on the remaining free worlds, and the last remnants of hope are fading. The rebels are desperate. They know that without a miracle, the Empire will claim their homeworld too. In a hidden underground facility beneath the ruins of a once great city, the last leaders of humanity meet in secret. The room is dark, illuminated only by the faint glow of monitors displaying surveillance footage of Empire fleets on the horizon. The leaders are discussing a single, last-ditch effort, something that could turn the tide of the war, something that could challenge the Empire's technological superiority. "We cannot win this war with our weapons alone," says General Kane, one of the last surviving military commanders. "We need something more. Something the Empire won't understand." The room falls silent. Everyone knows the Empire's overwhelming power. They've seen it firsthand. Ships that can wipe out entire planets, fleets that outnumber their own by millions. The Empire has conquered whole star systems without breaking a sweat. But General Kane's eyes shine with a strange resolve. "There's a legend that can turn the Empire's arrogance against them," he says, his voice steady. "It's time we awaken her." The whispers fill the room. Baba Yaga. The name is spoken softly, as if even saying it aloud might summon the ancient force itself. She is a myth from Earth's ancient folklore, a powerful figure who is said to wield immense, untold power, a force of nature that could bend reality itself. The myth spoke of a witch who lived in a hut that stood on chicken legs, someone who could control storms, heal the sick, and make the impossible happen. But that's all she was, a myth. A story passed down through generations. No one had seen her for centuries. But in a galaxy where myth and reality often blur, could this legend be more than just a fairy tale? We need her. "We need her power," says an older scientist, Dr. Sylvia Monroe. She spent her life studying ancient texts, and she's the first to suggest something that sounds insane. We can summon her. The leaders of humanity know they have no choice. The Empire's annihilation of their people is imminent, and they have nothing left to lose. Using a combination of long-forgotten rituals, ancient texts, and cutting-edge technology, they plan to reach out to the legendary figure. But calling upon Baba Yaga won't be easy. It will take every ounce of humanity's willpower and faith in the legends. They activate the ancient system, mixing mysticism with science, creating a conduit between the realms of legend and reality. The stars outside the facility begin to shift, a sign that the ritual has begun. As the hum of the machine grows louder, the air seems to crackle with energy, as if the fabric of space itself is being torn. For the first time in centuries, humanity dares to hope again. And in the deep, dark corners of space, Baba Yaga hears the call, and she answers. The legends were true. Baba Yaga's return is not the grand, majestic entrance the galaxy might have expected. No fleet of shimmering ships, no blinding flash of light. Instead, she appears as a presence, an ancient force entwined with the fabric of the universe itself. She is not the cackling old crone the Empire's historians would have imagined, nor is she a mere myth. She is far more, a being of nature, raw and untamed, a force that commands the elements and bends reality to her will. When the ritual completes, the room falls into an eerie silence. For a moment, nothing happens. The lights flicker and the hum of the machine stops, as though the universe itself is holding its breath. Then, as if the very air had been woven by unseen hands, Baba Yaga emerges from the shadows. Her form is no longer confined to the twisted folklore that humanity had once believed. She is an enigma, a shifting silhouette of storm clouds, ancient roots, and the glowing embers of forgotten stars. Her eyes, like twin suns, burn with an unsettling intensity, and every word she speaks carries the weight of centuries. You called me, mortals. Her voice echoes, not from a single direction, but from everywhere at once. It is the voice of the wind through the trees, the crack of thunder in the sky, and the murmur of ancient rivers. Why should I aid you? You have disturbed the balance of the cosmos. The leaders of humanity stand in awe and terror, but General Kane steps forward, his voice steady despite the overwhelming power before him. We have no choice. The Galactic Empire is killing us, destroying everything we've fought for. We need your help. You were once the guardian of life, of nature itself. We need that power. Baba Yaga studies him, her eyes narrowing, searching deep within him. She can feel his desperation, the fragile hope of a species on the brink of extinction. But she also senses something more, something raw and untapped in humanity's spirit. You have no idea what you are asking, Baba Yaga warns, her gaze sweeping across the room. The Empire is no mere conqueror. It is a force of annihilation. You are asking for more than a fight. You are asking for the destruction of a civilization that believes itself invincible. Then we will die fighting. Dr. Monroe speaks up, her voice trembling but resolute. If you will not help us, we will perish. But if you will join us, we can turn the tide. We can make them understand that humanity is not to be taken lightly. A long silence fills the room as Baba Yaga contemplates the words. She has seen empires rise and fall, civilizations fade into dust, and yet something about humanity stirs something deep within her. Perhaps it is their defiance. Perhaps it is their unyielding hope, even in the face of certain doom. She shifts her form slightly, as though the very air around her becomes charged with energy. The shadows of the room grow darker, and the temperature drops by several degrees. You are right, Baba Yaga finally says, her voice softer, but laced with an ancient power that makes the very walls tremble. I will help you. But know this, my aid comes with a price. I will not fight your battles for you mortals. I will show you the true power within your own species, the powers you have forgotten. You will become something more than human. You will become something that the Empire cannot comprehend. The room goes still. The leaders exchange glances, their hearts pounding. To embrace Baba Yaga's power means unleashing something wild, something uncontrollable. But it is their only chance. What must we do? General Kane asks, his voice steady. You must be willing to accept what you are, Baba Yaga replies. The Empire believes in the power of technology and machines, but the true power of the galaxy lies in the living essence, the very soul of existence. You must tap into it, unlock the hidden potential that flows through your veins. And I will guide you. With that, Baba Yaga raises her hands, and the ground beneath them shifts. In an instant, the leaders find themselves transported, not to a distant world or battlefield, but to the heart of nature itself. They stand in an ancient forest, the trees taller than any they've ever seen, their roots entwined with the very energy of the universe. This, Baba Yaga declares, is the beginning of your transformation. From here, you will learn the ways of the old, forgotten powers. The power to manipulate the elements, to bend time and space, to become more than what you were. If you survive the training, you will be ready to challenge the Empire. If not, she lets the sentence hang in the air, the unspoken consequence of failure echoing like a warning in their minds. Baba Yaga does not wait for their agreement. Instead, she turns, and with a wave of her hand, the forest shifts once more. The ground beneath them trembles as they begin their training, learning to manipulate the very forces of nature: fire, water, wind, and earth. For the first time, humanity realizes that they are not just fighting to survive. They are fighting to become something greater. And in this ancient forest, under the watchful eye of Baba Yaga, they begin to unlock powers they never thought possible. The Empire may have been ruthless, but they had never faced anything like this before. They had underestimated humanity, and soon they would learn just how dangerous that mistake would be. Months pass as humanity trains under Baba Yaga's unyielding guidance. The leaders and soldiers, once human in their rawest, simplest forms, now wield powers that defy the very laws of nature. They've learned to call upon storms, to twist the fabric of space, and to control the earth beneath their feet. Humanity is no longer the underdog, no longer a mere pawn in the Empire's grand game. They're becoming a force of nature themselves. Baba Yaga does not coddle them. She teaches them to understand the true power they possess, a power that exists in every living being, buried deep within the genetic codes of humanity, waiting to be unleashed. She teaches them to bend energy, shift time, and transform matter. She shows them how to commune with the very essence of the universe, a force that the Empire cannot comprehend, let alone control. But even with these newfound abilities, there is still much to be done. The Galactic Empire has not stopped its advance. Their fleets grow larger, their weapons more destructive. The final battle is approaching, and humanity is not yet ready. Baba Yaga senses their unease. They have power, yes, but they have not yet learned the true cost of wielding it. It is not enough to wield power, mortals, she says one day as they stand in the heart of the forest, their bodies crackling with newly unlocked energy. You must understand it, control it. Only then will you have the strength to face what comes. General Kane steps forward, his face hardened by the trials they've faced. We're ready, he says. We've fought for this. We've learned. Now we need to take the fight to the Empire. Baba Yaga's eyes glimmer with the light of distant stars, and for a moment, a shadow of something ancient flickers in her gaze. She knows the cost of war. She knows what it means to fight a battle beyond the understanding of those who fight it. But she also sees the fire in humanity's heart, and it stirs something deep within her. Then it is time, Baba Yaga says, her voice like thunder echoing across the land. You will fight. But remember, you will not just fight with your bodies. You will fight with your souls. You will fight with the very essence of what it means to be human. As the first wave of Empire ships approaches Earth, the newly empowered humans stand ready. They're no longer the vulnerable species the Empire once believed them to be. They are warriors, masters of forgotten arts, and their battlefield is unlike any the Empire has ever encountered. The first skirmish takes place in the atmosphere above Earth. The Empire's ships arrive in massive formations, sleek and cold, their weapons bristling with destructive force. The humans, standing on the surface below, feel the rumble of the coming storm. And then, like a lightning strike, humanity strikes back. The sky above Earth tears open with the force of 1,000 storms as humans unleash their newfound powers. General Kane, now more than human, raises his arms, and the winds howl in response. Lightning dances from his fingertips, striking the nearest Empire ship with the force of a thunderclap. The ship shudders, its shields cracking under the intense energy. It falls from the sky, exploding in a shower of sparks. Across the battlefield, humans tap into the raw power Baba Yaga has unlocked within them. Dr. Monroe stands amidst the ruins of a destroyed city, her hands outstretched, drawing upon the earth itself. Massive stone pillars rise from the ground, impaling the Empire's ships. The very planet shakes with their fury, and for the first time, the Empire's war machines falter. But the Empire does not relent. They respond with all the force of their technologically advanced fleet. Their weapons are designed to destroy entire cities in moments. Their ships equipped with devastating laser cannons capable of erasing all in their path. The battle rages on, the sky above a chaos of explosions and shifting tides of energy. But humanity, with Baba Yaga's teachings, holds their ground. They fight not just with weapons, but with the forces of nature itself. The Empire's weapons cannot compete with the elemental fury humanity now commands. Baba Yaga watches from the shadows, her gaze fixed on the battle. She is not actively participating, for this is humanity's fight, their proving ground. But her presence looms over them, a silent, watchful guardian. She knows that the true test lies not in the victory itself, but in the way humanity rises to face what is coming. As the Empire's ships begin to retreat, their forces overwhelmed by the sheer ferocity of humanity's attack, the survivors of the battle stand tall. Their bodies are bruised, their energy reserves nearly depleted, but their spirits remain unbroken. They have proven something crucial. The Empire may be powerful, but it is no match for the raw, untapped potential of humanity when it is awakened. But this is only the beginning. The Galactic Empire will not stop its assault, and Baba Yaga's teachings are just the first step in what will be a long, brutal war. Humanity has learned to fight, but now they must learn how to survive the inevitable counterattack. The war has only just begun, and the true power of humanity will be tested in ways they cannot yet imagine. The battle above Earth is won, but the fight for the galaxy is far from over. The Galactic Empire, once the most formidable force in the universe, was crumbling. Zara watched from the flagship's bridge as the last remnants of Imperial forces retreated in disarray. Humanity, against all odds, had brought down the Empire. It wasn't just their military might that had done it. It was their spirit, their unity, their refusal to bow to the tyrannical rule of a collapsing empire. The Empire's greatest asset, the sheer weight of its military, was no match for the resilience of the human will. Zara had seen it firsthand. She had watched as human forces struck at the heart of the Empire, infiltrating their most secure bases, disrupting supply chains, and launching devastating cyber attacks that crippled the Imperial war machine. It wasn't just the humans' ability to adapt that made them dangerous. It was their determination to fight for something bigger than themselves. Their families, their homes, and their future. IKT had all started with a single colony on Epsilon 12, but now the war had spread across the galaxy. Every corner of the Empire was under attack, and no matter how many Imperial fleets were sent to quell the rebellion, humanity simply would not be stopped. Zara's allegiance to the Empire had waned long ago. She had seen the truth. The Empire's days were numbered. It had grown complacent, arrogant, and had underestimated the very species it sought to crush. The humans were not just fighting for survival. They were fighting for the future, a future that had been stolen from them by a galaxy-spanning empire. Now, the final battle was upon them. The humans had managed to breach the Empire's capital, a feat no one had believed possible. Imperial forces, now stretched thin and disorganized, scrambled to defend the heart of their empire. But it was too late. Zara knew the outcome. The Empire had already lost. She stood at the helm of the flagship, the cold, vast expanse of space stretching out before her. This was the moment she had waited for, the moment when the Empire would finally pay for its hubris. Human forces had infiltrated the Imperial capital, using their guerrilla tactics and advanced technology to break through the planetary defenses. Zara watched as human troops, with grim determination, fought their way through the streets of the once proud capital. The city that had once been a symbol of the Empire's dominance was now in ruins, its shining towers reduced to rubble. The final confrontation took place in the heart of the Imperial Palace. Zara had once stood in those halls, proud of the empire she had served. Now, she watched as human forces stormed the throne room, their weapons drawn, their eyes set on the ultimate prize, the Emperor himself. The Emperor, who had once dismissed humanity as a mere nuisance, now cowered before the same species he had so callously sought to destroy. Zara watched, emotionless, as the humans captured the Emperor and brought him to justice. His empire, his reign of terror, was over. The humans had won, but at a great cost. The galaxy was in ruins, and the price of victory had been steep. Zara felt the weight of it all. The lives lost, the worlds destroyed, and the countless sacrifices made by the very species she had once been trained to eradicate. But in the end, she knew that the humans' victory was inevitable. The Empire's cruelty had sparked the fires of rebellion, and now those fires had consumed everything in their path. As the Emperor was led away, Zara turned her gaze to the horizon, watching as the final remnants of the Empire's warships were destroyed by the combined might of the human resistance. The Empire was finished. The war was over, in the quiet aftermath of the battle. Zara walked among the ruins of the imperial capital, her mind heavy with the knowledge that she had been part of something far greater than any empire. She had fought for a system that believed itself invincible, but in the end, it had been human resilience that had shattered that illusion. And now, Zara understood. The Empire had failed because it had underestimated the very thing that made humanity so powerful. Their ability to rise from the ashes, to rebuild, and to forge a future where they would never be silenced. Zara stood in the midst of the ruins, surrounded by the victorious human forces. She had seen the depths of their strength, their resolve, and their unyielding spirit. She had watched them fight, adapt, and overcome every obstacle placed in their way. The Empire had been blind to this strength, and that blindness had led to its downfall. Humanity had won the war, not just by defeating an empire, but by proving that no force in the galaxy could ever truly conquer them. Yes, she looked toward the horizon, the stars burning brightly overhead. Zara felt a strange peace settle over her. The war was over. The Empire was finished, and humanity, against all odds, had secured its place in the galaxy. Asterisk, asterisk, ending asterisk, asterisk, the Emperor's reign had ended. The once feared empire had fallen, its military shattered, and its capital reduced to rubble. Zara, the war veteran who had once believed in the Empire's invincibility, now stood as a witness to humanity's greatest triumph. The humans had not only survived, they had built a future for themselves, one that the Empire could never have foreseen. In the ashes of the old order, a new era was born, one where humanity would rise to become the true power in the galaxy. And Zara, now standing among the humans, knew that she had been part of something far greater than she could have ever imagined, the birth of a new hope.